Thank you to Hooks and Needles for sponsoring this video. Hello and welcome back to my channel. I am B, and today we are doing something a little bit different. So I just thought to break up all of the vlogs and also to buy myself some time for the next vlog that's coming out, that I would do a little spring summer pattern inspiration. So I have been compiling and saving some patterns on my Ravelry and on Pinterest that I really like, and also designers that I've had my eye on for a long time. And this is basically just like a wish list of patterns that I wish I would have the time to get around to this year. But unfortunately, I do not. I have a lot of ideas for my own patterns and things I want to self-draft, which will get in the way of doing all of these summer patterns. But there are definitely a few that I've got my eye on that I think will make the cut. So I've got tops for you today, bottoms. I have got some layers, like light cardigans and that sort of stuff. Dresses and accessories. So I've got a whole plethora of things. So stick around if you would like to hear about any of those patterns. So I have the most of tops, so I think I'm going to start with those. I'm going to move to the side, so I've got some room to put in pictures. If you see me looking over here as well, it's because I've got my laptop here for reference. First up, we actually have one that I have already made. I made this last summer, but I just thought I needed to include it because it is such a cool pattern, so vibrant and loud. It is the Alexa top by Ruffle, and it is just the coolest tank top pattern. I think they recommend that you seam down the middle, but I cannot stand seaming, so I did intarsia myself. And I did it in the exact same colours as the top that they're showing in the sample. Let me grab it for you. La 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 la. Here it is in the flesh. I really love this top, and I've actually worn it quite a lot. Look at that teeny tiny gauge. I think this is the garment that I've used the smallest needles for, but it just looks so professional. It looks shop bought. I really want to put one of my labels in here so it looks like it is from a shop. But it is just gorgeous. I think the one thing that stops me wearing it so much, and this is a me problem, is it's very cropped. I stopped it very cropped, which means I can't wear it to work really, which is such a shame because it's such beautiful colour. And I really love pink or red, as you can see. But it's such a cool pattern. So it is knit on 3mm needles. So very small. It's got a gauge of 28 stitches by 43 rows. But I don't remember it taking a huge amount of time, and I was so determined to finish this that it actually went quite fast. Because I really wanted to wear it last summer. But yeah, Ruffle has got some really cool patterns, and they are featured quite a lot in this video, so more from them in a second. But I would really recommend this pattern. The pattern itself was very clear, and it is just such a cool, colourful, loud top. I love it. Next, and also from Ruffle, we have the Nina top 2.0. So this is a really cool sort of asymmetrical halter neck top, and I think it's really unique in the asymmetry of the front. And also striped. You don't have to make it striped, but it could be striped, and that would make a really fun top. And I think it would be a perfect nice top and jeans top, you know what I mean, in the summer. Little beer garden with the Pims in your hand. Oof, lovely. It is just so gorgeous. I would love to knit more halter necks because I think they're very nice and breathable with a knitted top. So I do most of my summer tops in cotton. This is an exception, this is merino. It can still be hot even if you use cotton, so I think this with the open back would be so nice and breathable for summer. And I love the cord detail. It's like an I cord for the halter neck bit itself. Absolutely beautiful. I would love to make that. It is a small gauge again, but something that I think would go relatively quickly and it would be really worth it. Okay, next we have the Mercedes tank by Lottie Knitwear. This is one that I've seen on Instagram and also on Ravelry quite a bit. And I think it is such a cool staple. It's like the tank top of my dreams, and that contrast stitch is just like the perfect thing to set it apart from other tanks. I think it looks so polished, so professional, and like the perfect summer tank top. So for this one, there are 6 sizes, XL to double XL. You use 3mm needles for the body, and the gauge is 28 by 36. So Seems to be a bit of a theme, very small gauges, which is understandable because you don't want really bulky knits for summer. It does just make it a bit difficult to pick up and do it because I guess I'm just a bit threatened by 3mm needles because it might take a bit longer. The contrast stitch is just beautiful. I love it so much. And it's also top down, which I love because I'm just not a fan of bottom up constructions anymore because I love to try it on as I go and then just stop whenever I feel like it, essentially. So you don't necessarily have to follow the pattern length that they suggest. But this is a really cool one. So next up we have other loops. So this is a relatively new designer to me. Like I only found them for the research that I was doing for this video. All of their stuff looks really cool. And this drop stitch style top has been something that I've been wanting to recreate myself lately. I wanted to do a long sleeve version to be like a sort of cover up for a festival or something like that. But it's just really cool. It's from they've got sizes XS to 2XL. The pattern suggests 4mm needles with a gauge of 22 by 32. So this one I feel like would work up a lot quicker. And because it's a drop stitch pattern, you would only have to make it small, and when you drop the stitches, it would stretch it out. So you wouldn't actually have to do as much work as if it was just a full stockinette project. That's how it works in my head, at least. I feel like this would be a really good project if you had a couple skeins left over of something. I think it would go quite a long way because of the drop stitches. And it would just be a really cool top to wear over stuff. Like again, in a basic colour, like the texture of the drop stitches adds quite a lot. So you don't necessarily need a lot of colour in the outfit. But yeah, I think, as you can tell, there's a theme going on. It's either got to have colour or a fun texture for me to want to make it. Or colour work as well. I'm a sucker for colour work. But yeah, that's another really cool one that I would consider making. Now this is another classic, and it's another one that I have actually made. I made last summer. This is the Blouse Number 1 Light by My Favourite Things Knitwear. And this sample photo is using a beautiful fluffy yarn, a sort of mohair from the looks of it. Soft silk mohair by Knitting for Olive is what is used in the product photo. When I did the pattern, I used pure silk by Knitting for Olive, and I used it in this orange colour. And it looked like a bag of easy peelers. But it's one of my favourite cover-up mesh tops. I think it looks so cool. And the bell sleeves is something that I'm not normally partial to or haven't tried, but I really love the silhouette of it. I would make something along those lines again, another mesh top, but not necessarily in mohair for summer because that would be very hot still. So yeah, pure silk is what I did, and that's what I really like. It looks great at a festival for a cover-up, or you could just wear a tank underneath it for a little bit of everyday wear, no issue. Sizes for this one, extra small to 4XL, so that is a better size range. The gauge is 15 stitches by 19 rows, and it suggests 6mm needles. That would be a bit faster to work up. Completely forgot about my tea. Oh, that's way too hot. Okay, next, and on the sort of theme of drop stitches and sort of mesh tops, is this scribble top by Rose Knitwear. Rose are really cool, and they're also a designer that I've had my eye on for a long time because they've got really cool jumper patterns. But when I was looking for this video for summer and spring patterns, I came across this one, which I think is a really cool texture. It's I don't know if it's exclusively drop stitches. It looks like there's a bit more texture to the rose in the middle. So I'm not actually too sure what that is, but it is such a cool texture, and it is a little bit more see-through than the other loops pattern. So this would also be good for a festival in a really bright colour. But it just makes such a statement. It's such a cool texture to an otherwise boring outfit. So I would make that in black potentially, and then wear it with my trusty gingham trousers. I think that would look really cool. And there's also 8 sizes available for this, so extra small to 4XL. So the gauge is also 21 stitches by 17 rows, which is quite unusual. And this is using 5mm needles. So again, I think that would be quite a cool challenge. So the thing that I like about summer tops is that you can try cool techniques without having to commit to sleeves, which appeals to me greatly. So I've never done any sort of lace work before, and like, as beautiful as lace work is, and as much as I like to look at it, it's not typically what I would wear. I mean, I'm always open to trying it. Don't get me wrong. I will never say no to any knitwear. But I think this is quite an accessible lace work for me, if it is indeed lace work, I'm not actually sure. I think that would be very accessible to me because you don't have to do arms, you don't have to commit to that. And it's also just a really good cover up and a really cool texture. Oh, and equally, there is a long sleeve version of this, which is the Scribble Cardigan by Rose Knitwear. But I just thought that I could put a little honourable mention for that because it looks like a really cool cover up for summer. And it'd be very nice and airy because it's got a lot of holes. Good observation, B. So before we get on to the next category, I just wanted to say a huge thank you to today's sponsor, Hooks and Needles. It is like a dream come true to be sponsored by Hooks and Needles, and they very kindly sent me some subscription boxes to have a look at. So on the theme of learning new techniques, Hooks and Needles provide 3 patterns in every subscription box, as well as the tools that you need to make it and the yarn as well. So example, in this knitting pack, I've got 3 patterns for gloves, slippers and a snood pullover. And it rates the patterns from beginner, intermediate and advanced. So if you're feeling brave and feeling like learning some new techniques, Hooks and Needles has you covered. They send you everything that you need to make it, so the needles, as well as the yarn, and some cool accessories as well for your project. For this box specifically, I am definitely going to be making the snood because I really, really want to learn new techniques to do with cabling. I have only done one cable project, the cardigan, for my first vlog, and I really want to continue on that train and continue to try and push myself and learn. And cables are one of the main things I want to push myself with and try and learn the most. So I'm really excited. This is going to be my next cast on, and I'm thinking it might be my more mindless knit because I do a lot of self-drafting myself, and sometimes I just want a break and to be able to follow a pattern. So that is what I'm going to be doing next. The subscription box includes a booklet with step-by-step instructions and tutorials on how to do all of the techniques in the patterns listed. So if you want to learn new techniques and you want knitting patterns or crochet patterns delivered to your door monthly, check out Hooks and Needles. There is more information in the link in my bio, so feel free to check that out. And make sure to use code B20 to get 20% off your first order. Thank you again so much to Hooks and Needles for sponsoring this video. Back into the patterns. Now we're moving on to bottoms. So I have not yet made any trousers or shorts or anything, and I would absolutely love to. The thing that threatens me the most about it is not so much with shorts. I think I could get on board with shorts and do that pretty quickly, but the trousers, just going in stockinette for that long, I'm like, I feel like I would just get one leg done and then be bored. It's like Sleeve Island, but worse, no? I don't know, maybe I should just give it a go, stop being such a baby. But the first bottom I have to show you is a skirt. Ooh, we're going back to Le Pull because they've got some great stuff. And this is also a sort of beachy cover up. And when I first saw this, I was like, hang on a minute, is that crochet? And the answer is no. No, you'd be wrong. It is in fact knitting. And I don't know how they have done this witchcraft. Filet net stitch, apparently, is what they use. But it just looks like some sort of witchcraft. And I love the colour that they chose in the sample photo. Anything bright immediately draws my eye. And I feel like I must have it. I think it would be really cool to wear to the beach, or even with a slip underneath. I think it would be a really cool texture to add to an outfit. Just imagine that with some cool sandals and some nice socks. Oh, God, it's got summer written all over it, hasn't it? But this is available from extra small to 4XL, so a great size range. And the gauge is 26 by 34 in stockinette on 3mm needles. So that's a bit scary, the fact that it's such a big garment with 3mm needles. But because it's a net stitch, I'm assuming it might be a bit quicker. But a very cool pattern from Lapul. And I'm not normally one for knit skirts, although again, I would never say never, but this is the one that has drawn my eye the most, because I think it just looks really fun, interesting and unique, which I like a lot. Next up, also by Lapul just knocking it out the park, are the disco trousers. Now these look so fun. They are these really cool wide leg trousers, which I absolutely love. The fact that they're knitted and they're wide leg. And it's got this cool drop stitch detail, which is very unique. Like, I haven't seen it very often in trousers, knit trousers. But it just looks so intricate, so interesting. The drop stitch adds a really cool texture and makes it funky even in plainer colours. But I would like this in a very bright, bold colour personally. I think this is screaming for some lime green. Sizes are from small to 3XL for this one, with a gauge of 16 stitches by 24 rows. So these look great. I am intimidated by them. It looks like it would take a lot of effort and a lot of time, but it could be one of those nice long-term mindless projects. And although this is a summer and spring pattern roundup, I feel like this could be worn all year round. Another honourable mention that goes hand in hand with the disco trousers are the solo trousers. So these are basically using ribbing rather than a dropped stitch. There's a bit more coverage for these ones, and it's got pockets as well, but has a very similar effect because of the ribbing down the legs. So just an honourable mention. So next we're moving on to some shorts. We have got, oh my God, I've got another Lapul pattern. I'm sorry, I'm just obsessed with everything they do. Next is the Lover short by Lapul, and this is such a cool stockinette stitch short. They're like little beachy shorts, and they have this really cool little detail on the hem. I don't know if it's a picot stitch. I've never said that out loud. I don't know if that's how you say it as well. Picot. But they're super cute, and I love it in this pink that they've done. I think it looks really cool. Again, on the beach, but you could literally wear them anywhere. Such a great summer piece. And because they're stockinette, they'd be nice and quick as well, because I'd be quite lazy when it comes to ribbing. This seems a bit more mindless. But this is from extra small to 4XL, and the gauge is 20 stitches by 32 rows on 3.5mm needles. So again, very small needles, but they're only shorts. You don't have to do 2 whole legs, so it'd be a lot quicker. Okay, last for the bottoms is another pair of shorts, and this is the Dmer's Sporty Shorts pattern by Dmer Knitwear. Again, another amazing knitwear designer that I have followed for a long time. I think all of their patterns are great. You should definitely check them out. But these ones I highlighted specifically because they're just so cute. They seem to have a bit more positive ease than the previous shorts that I showed you by Lapul. So if you prefer a bit of a looser, more relaxed fit of short, these are the ones for you. I personally like both, so I would love to have both. And also I like the ribbing. It's like a fun, interesting texture. Adds a little something to the shorts. And again, these shorts in a fun, bright colour with a plain top and some colourful socks, you just can't go wrong. So the sizes for this is small, medium and large, so not the greatest size range. And the gauge is 20 stitches by 25 rows in 2x2 rib. And then the needle size is 4.5mm. So it sounds like it would be a lot quicker with 4.5mm needles, and because they're only shorts, I feel like that would work up quite nice and fast. And that is the end of the bottoms segment. Next, we have cardigans and layers. So we are kicking off with free pattern, would you believe? Ooh, we love a free pattern. This is the mohair ruffle sleeve by Les Filles du Coeur, or Lily Schwarzkopf. And I can't believe this is free. It's such a cool and unique pattern. So there is, I think it's only one size, which is fair enough because it's a free pattern. It looks like the sizing would fit a broad range, like there's quite a lot of positive ease, but it is just so funky. Like the ruffle sleeves are just incredible. Like how dramatic are they? Again, you could do a fun colour or you could just go plain because the sleeves have enough drama just to make the entire piece worth it. I love it as a layering piece, and you could also just knit it longer if you want it to be a top. Like I don't see why you couldn't, because it looks like, yeah, it's top down. You could definitely do that, and it seems to feature drop stitches as well. The yarn used looks very chunky. Yeah, it's a bulky yarn, and the needle size is 9mm. So very chunky, but because it's such an open knit, I feel like it'd be fine for summer. And you could always just use a cotton, and that would make it a bit cooler. But that is a really, really cool one, and I feel like that would be good for leftover yarn. And I do have quite a lot of different colours of Drops Air, which I feel like could be a cool stripy version of this. So that's food for thought. Oh, we're going back to Rose Knitwear next with a cardigan. So this one is the Aura cardigan by Rose Knitwear, and it is just this really, really lovely mohair. It looks like a single strand of mohair and larger needles for this really cool open gauge cardigan, which I think is such a cool concept, because cardigans you really think of autumn and winter and stuff, but this really makes it such a transitional piece in your wardrobe, and it's just so fun. Like I love anything mesh, anything that you can layer. That's why I love autumn and winter so much. It's because you can layer pieces and you can wear your knitwear. Stuff like this, mohair and mesh stuff, allows you to do that in the summer and spring, which is why I have featured so much of it in all of these patterns. You can probably see I'm a bit biased towards an open gauge knit. Sizes extra small to 4XL, that's what we like to see. And then we've got a gauge of 14 stitches by 19 rows, which is great. That'd be a nice fast knit on 6.5mm needles. That just sounds ideal. Like if you just want a nice quick cardi project, if you're missing that aspect of doing like sleeves and a little cover up in the summer and the spring, ideal, absolutely ideal. Okay, we are over 2/3 of the way. We have dresses now. Sorry about the pronunciation, but we've got Spectacle Strick as the first one. They're very popular for their wave jumper, which I'm desperate to make, but not seasonally appropriate for this video. I was just looking through their tops and I found this dress, which is called the Inga dress, I think is how you say it. But it's just this really cool sort of wardrobe staple. And I really loved it for its simple shaping and the fact that you can just easily alter the length. So you could make it long, put some slits in it if you wanted to, or make it super short. And the thing that draws me to it most is how plain it is, and that sort of invites a lot of creativity in. So you could make it stripy, you could do it scrappy. The thing that I immediately thought of when I looked at this would be duplicate stitch. I thought that would be really, really cool on the front and maybe the back, wherever, for this dress, to make a real statement piece out of like quite a simple pattern. This has sizes extra small to 3XL, and the gauge is 22 stitches by 29 rows on 4mm needles. So again, not too bad. I feel like that would work up pretty quick. Once you're going in the round, you're just off, aren't you? There's no stopping you once you're in the round. But again, I think that would be something that I would love to make in a really bright colour and then put a little baby tee underneath as like a layer thing with some cool boots. Oh. The last dress I have to show you is once again by Dmer Knitwear, making a reappearance. This is Dmer's mesh dress. So this is very similar to the skirt that I showed you, but I really like the shaping they've used for this one. And also they use a really, really thick yarn and needles, so it would be super quick to make. The sizes that they have are, they only have 2 sizes, so that's not too great. But the gauge is 7 stitches by 8 rows. I mean, you could just whip that up so fast. And they want you to use 50mm needles. That might be a bit hard to source, but it would just make this such a fast knit. And it's so fun. Like, again, the lime greens really draw me in. I'm like a little magpie. I like bright colours straight away. And then I want to make the exact sample photo. But that is another really, really cool dress. Another beachy cover-up sort of thing. Something you could wear a slip dress underneath as well. Okay, last category is accessories. So first up, I wanted to include a bag, and it would be silly not to include the Scrunchie Bag pattern by Loopy Studios. This is just so cool, and it's so versatile as well. Perfect for using up your scrap fabric, and it is just such a cool statement piece. So I love the fact that it's totally adjustable as well, and that you can tighten it and everything. Oh, it's just like so much thought has been put into the design. It is so amazing. I also love that it's knit flat as well, so it's very accessible to people with flat needles, people that might not have circular needles, which is really great. And it would just be such a great way to de-stash. I really want to knit one of these. I would like to have a little look at all of my scrap yarn at the moment and see if any colours speak to me for a very cool bag. I'm feeling a lot of green, red, pink, potentially, aka the colours I always go for. I ought to change it up a little bit, shouldn't I? Okay, next is a pattern by Kiss Rhinestones, who has incredible patterns as well. I follow her on Instagram. Check out all her other stuff. She has the Vivian cardigan, which is beautiful. But what I wanted to mention here was her book bag. When I was looking for bags, I couldn't really find anything like this. And I was looking for a sort of crossbody, but not necessarily like a bum bag, but like a little shoulder or crossbody bag. And it is just so sweet. It is one size, but I guess you could just size up or down by using smaller yarn and needles or bigger yarn and needles, so I think it's pretty versatile. The gauge that's recommended is 18 stitches by 28 rows, and that is using 3.5mm needles. It's quite a small project. I feel like it will just work up really fast. I feel like it is a perfect little summer, spring accent to your wardrobe. Last but not least, we have a scrunchie. Who doesn't love a scrunchie? I knit a lot of scrunchies with my leftover yarn that I have from projects like this one, so that they go with the projects that I make. I just make a big tube and then I seam it together with crochet around an elastic. Like I do a very simple scrunchie, and that normally does me. But this took my breath away. All the ruffles. It just looks so amazing, and it's free. Oh my god. It just looks like such a nice quick project. I feel like it'd only take you a day. The gauge stitch is 21 stitches by 28 rows, and that is using 4mm needles. So again, wouldn't take the longest time in the world. I think the ruffles in this just blow me away. Absolutely blow me away. Like I really would love a statement scrunchie, because at the moment mine are just, I'll show you an example. This is one that I literally just finished making today. I just used like my smallest circular needles, just cast on how many it would take to reach, did a tube and then just cast off and seamed it together using crochet, and that does the job. But I feel like the ruffles on this one are just out of this world. So yeah, I think with leftover yarn that I have in the future now, I'm going to try and make one of those. Just like that, we have come to the end of the patterns that I have gathered. So I really hope I can make a few of these this summer. I would absolutely love to. My top picks would be, what would they be? This is so hard. I think my top two would be the Disco Trousers by Le Pool and the Scribble Top by Rose Knitwear. I've got a lot of self-drafted things that I want to cast on for summer as well, so I can only knit so much. I've only got 2 hands. Thank you so much for joining me though and listening to me yap about patterns. Let me know if you would want to cast on any of these projects. Also let me know what you're working on down in the comments below. I would love to know what you're working up. That is it. Thank you so much for sticking around to the end, and I will see you in the next video.